Hi, how are you?
Having a great day. How are you?
I'm good. A very busy day, I understand.
It's been so much fun. People seem to care about my album, and it's all I've ever wanted.
Yeah. As you know, I've just been listening to it. It starts off with
You're
a bang.
cramming.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So why don't we start talking about the title track of your new album, Dangerous Levels of Introspection. Tell me about that song.
Yeah, it's about I haven't figured out how to say this in a succinct way yet, but brevity is not my jam. I'm more for just heart barfy rambles. So excuse this feeling a little convoluted, but Dangerous Levels of Introspection became the title of the album because, well, one, I really loved this song. And when I zoomed out from this song, it felt like it kind of summarized the whole thing. Because I think there's a level of emotional analysis that brings you closer to your own life. And then there's a level of emotional analysis that just ruins everything. And I think this album lives right on the line between those two levels. Ipso facto, Dangerous Levels of Introspection.
Have you gone to the side that of introspection that ruins your life, or have you?
I've lived there for many years.
Yeah.
It's a constant it's a constant negotiation with the level of analysis that I would like to give my emotion. Luckily, emotional analysis is part of my job, so I have an excuse.
Yeah. So tell me about songwriting and how it entered into your life and became your job.
Yeah, so I went to school in a town called King City, not far from Barrie, in between Barrie and Toronto. And I was a nerd, and like not in a cool way. I was a very dorky, insecure ginger kid and did not know how to be okay with myself at all. And the first place I really learned what it meant to have a relationship with myself that felt good and not totally detrimental and negative was sitting in an instrument and writing a song. It was really my first way to like myself. So from that point on, I kept exploring songwritings. I kept exploring what it meant, and it took more than a decade to arrive at writing songs that really felt like me. But I've always turned to them, and they're still where I feel the most myself.
And what instrument was that you were working on?
For originally the piano, and then a couple years later the guitar.
And was that part of a high school music class or something that your parents put you into?
No, I didn't play guitar or piano in high school music. I actually got kicked out of the high school music department at one point. I was put on academic probation from the basketball team. I was kicked out of the music department. I was not a great student. I barely graduated high school. Yeah, they made me play the trombone in high school band, and I didn't want to, and I was super petulant about it.
You say in the song on your album, line by line, that you sing things that you would never have the confidence to say. Why do you think that is?
Well, if you can make something sound pretty, I mean, anything can feel powerful. Your most vulnerable moments can feel powerful if you are singing them in a song that people are singing along to. I mean, it's kind of a magic trick. Like, I can tell you the things I'm the most ashamed of, and if I can make it pretty enough, you'll come to a show and sing along with me. And I think there's a metaphor in there, because I don't think that's just songs. I think it's about owning the things that make us feel vulnerable. And if we can own them, then they don't come with shame. They actually come with a lot of power.
I think that goes back to introspection. And I think that what is missing from a lot of people's lives is that introspection. The unexamined life is not worth living, but also if you're not even aware of yourself, it can make, like you said, make things feel bigger and scarier. And then, yeah, so singing them, I mean, do you ever get to the point where you don't want to sing them out loud anymore? Or is it okay?
I think every profession comes with its hazards. Mm-hmm. And I get to make songs for a living, that's just bonkers. And I'm so grateful for that. So if the professional hazard that I have to compartmentalize of getting to make songs for a living is that I have to have a little bit more of a tumultuous relationship with looking my more difficult emotions directly in the eye, then I'm okay with that trade-off.
Okay. And in the title track of your new album, you say the line, "It happened so fast." What was it that happened? And can you tell me about that?
So yeah, I mean, the period in my life that I'm talking about in Dangerous Levels of Introspection is when I first moved to Los Angeles. I was 20 years old. Everything, just every day was just drenched in uncertainty. You know, I was either sleeping in my car or I was going to open mics and trying to make friends so I could sleep on their couches. And I would just wake up not knowing where the day was going to end, not knowing what I was going to do, not knowing which strangers were going to become my friends and how that could change my life. It was just this vast uncertainty. And with that uncertainty came a lot of possibility. And I think as much as it's nice to romanticize that part of my life because it is poetic in some ways, it was also terrifying. And also, I am currently living the dreams that kid had. So to get too nostalgic about that time and romanticize it too much is real disrespectful for the dreams that kid was trying to live that I now get to be in, which is the level of ruining your life that the emotional analysis can lean into. So yeah, that's where that song lives.
So you've made it to where that kid wanted to be, and do you have
Almost.
Okay, so
we're
what are
en route.
your goals?
I would like to be on a massive festival stage somewhere with Chris Martin on back-to-back upright pianos where we do a medley of Yellow and If the World Was Ending. He plays If the World Was Ending and I play Yellow back-to-back upright pianos. That's when I'll have made it.
Can we get like some sort of online campaign to make that happen? Because that sounds wonderful.
We're going to work on it. If Chris Martin comes through Barrie, please tell him.
Yes, wouldn't that be something? So you are going on tour though in Canada in the fall.
Yeah,
that's pretty exciting. I mean, the last little while you've probably been stuck for a bit, like most of us.
Stuck in California. Yeah, this is the longest in my entire life I haven't been in Canada. I haven't. I used to come home 2, 3, 4 times a year. So since the day I was born, I've never spent this much time away from home, and it sucks. So first and foremost, I'm just excited to come home, and the fact that I get to play some shows on top of that is just, it's the icing on the cake.
Wonderful. And at the time that you've been stuck, has it been nice for you to not have to go anywhere, or did you find that difficult?
I mean, both.
Yeah.
It's been long enough now for all of us that I think if, it has not been one thing, one emotion, one era that we've had different eras of the last month and a half, and some of it was awful, and some of it was surprising, wonderful silver linings. And I've been very blessed to have quite a few silver linings of the last 18 months.
Yeah, that's great. Well, it's been really great to talk to you.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate you telling people about the album. It means a lot to me.